All right, so yesterday we started looking at ball and BallWorld, and we created BallWorld. Let me just run that again. And BallWorld has two balls in it, my ball and your ball. Both of them are drawn, and when I click the mouse, it moves my ball. So we wrote a ball class yesterday, and we decided that balls should all have a different position defined by X and Y, could have different colors defined by hue, and when we construct them, X is 50, Y is 100, hue is red. When we draw them by setting the color and then filling an oval. And we also said that we could move them. And then I asked you guys to try to add a mouse dragged method in here that would move your ball. So we have mouse clicked moves my ball, mouse dragged is going to move your ball. All right, so we should have done something like this. We're going to go public void mouse dragged. Inside of there, you got to put mouse event. And then you don't have to call it mouse, but we normally do. And then in here, we're going to say, instead of my ball dot move like we did here, we're going to say your ball dot move. Okay, the new X is going to be mouse dot get X. That's the position of the mouse. And mouse dot get Y, that's the Y position of the mouse. And then we got to repaint. Okay, you can check this by running it. And when you run it, when you click, it moves my ball. When you press and drag, it moves your ball. My ball, your ball. Okay, so hopefully you did that already. All right, so what we're doing is we're defining a method, move, inside of ball that can change X and Y. And it changes it to the new X and the new Y. All right? X and Y are what we call instance variables. They're variables that are created at the top of the class here. They're private. And basically what they keep track of for us is the X position and Y position of the ball. And in this one, we're keeping track of the color of the ball. Okay? And we're calling the color hue. All right? So anytime we create instance variables like this, they're variables that we can change to change the characteristics of a ball. All right. So let's just go ahead and say that we wanted to change the color as well. Okay. Since this thing is private, I have to create a public method that would allow me to change the color. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So we're going to go public void change color. All right. And then we got to make a decision when we're doing change color, and that is, do I want to know which color it should change to? Like I wanted to know the new X for X and the new Y for Y, or do I want it to just change to some random color? And I guess what we want to do this time is we're just going to change it to some random color, all right? And if you remember when we talked about colors, we said that every color has a red part, a green part, and a blue part. And those parts can range in value from 0 to 255. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of how we're going to do this, we're going to say int red equals, and then we're going to get a random number between 0 and 255. And here's a quick way of doing that. We want an int value, and we're going to get that int value from taking 256 times math.random. Okay. So just to kind of give you an idea of what that does, math.random gives me a double value between 0 and 1. So let's say it's like 0.75, okay? That's a random number, 0.75. We're going to take that 0.75 times 256, okay? So 0.75 times 256 is, what? 194 or something like that, somewhere around there. My math is probably a little bit off, but it's right around 194. But it's going to be 194.0 because math.random was a double. All right, and so I want that to be an int, and so this right here is saying just cut off the 0.0 and just give me the 194 as an int and make that red. Okay. So we can talk more about that if we need to, but we basically want to do the same thing for the green value and for the blue value. And then when we change the color, we're going to change it to this random red, blue, and green. Our red, green, and blue. And the value that we're going to change for the ball, well, we're not going to change X to a random color. We're not going to change Y. We're going to change hue. All right? So we're going to change hue so that it's a new color with that much red, that random amount of green, and some random amount of blue. All right? And so what we've just done here is we've created a change color method so that in BallWorld I can define some kind of mouse input that makes it so that I can change the color of one of the balls. All right? And so let's go over to BallWorld and do that. Okay? We're going to write a mouse exited method. Okay? And we're just going to go in here, go public void mouse exited mouse event mouse. So all of these mouse event methods have the same basic structure. They just use a different name. So if I want to figure out what to do when the mouse is dragged, I use mouse dragged. Clicked, I use mouse clicked. Exited, I use mouse exited. And now what I'm going to do is say, when the mouse is exited, your ball should change color. Okay? I want to see those changes, so I got to put repaint in there. And now that we have that, when we run BallWorld, it's going to make it so that, again, when I click, my ball moves. When I drag, your ball moves. But now when I exit from the frame with the mouse, your ball changes color. If I go back in, nothing happens. Go back out, your ball changes color. Dragging, I'm moving your ball. Clicking, I'm moving my ball. Mouse exited, I'm changing your ball's color. Okay? So now what I'd like you to do is try to write a mouse entered method that changes the color of my ball.